Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Before we get started on today's video, just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I'm pushing to 3,000 subscribers, so if you guys do enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So we have more news, not really new news, but more Jimmy Butler news that has been coming out, and there has been some information from Jimmy's camp, and Jimmy has been talking about how he's been frustrated with the Miami Heat's front office for multiple reasons, but one specifically was he was upset and his camp was upset that the Miami Heat have not been able to build a true contender around Jimmy Butler. They have not been aggressive enough and ambitious enough when it comes to acquiring better players to make this team better, to give Jimmy Butler the help that he needs and that he deserves. And I did make a video maybe like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago stating, did the Miami Heat fail Jimmy Butler? And I said that they did fail him to a certain degree. It wasn't completely their faults, obviously, but they did fail Jimmy in a few ways. And I think by them missing out on a bunch of stars, they have missed out on an opportunity to win a championship with Jimmy Butler. So let me read the quote. So frustrations over other contenders being more aggressive is why Jimmy Butler is upset. The defending Boston Celtics acquiring Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, the Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard, have left Butler disappointed with the Heat, seemingly not being as ambitious, the source said. Last year seemed to mark a crucial pivot point. I think this is when we didn't get Dame. After Dame explicitly said he only wants to come to Miami. That was heartbreaking. So he said last year was a crucial point as Miami brought in only Thomas Bryant and Josh Richardson to bolster its roster, which left Jimmy Butler feeling he had to do the impossible again, the source said. Which, again, I completely understand where Jimmy Butler's coming from. Jimmy Butler has carried this Miami Heat on his back with undrafted players. We'll get into that. But with Bam Adebayo, who is an up-and-coming all-star. Now he's a two-time all-star. Tyler Hero, who's been injured. Jimmy, who's been injured. And he hasn't had enough. We missed out on Kevin Durant. We missed out on Donovan Mitchell twice. We missed out on Damian Lillard. We missed out on other players as well that wanted to come to the Miami Heat. And so I can understand why Jimmy Butler has been frustrated with this front office. But again, it's not entirely their fault, which we'll get into. But I have empathy for Jimmy Butler, honestly, that this front office made mistakes, trading away picks, giving away assets, making bad decisions before we had Jimmy Butler. Also, while we had Jimmy Butler, where we didn't have the capital, the draft picks, the contracts where we could trade and acquire a Kevin Durant like the Phoenix Suns did, or a Donovan Mitchell like the Cavs did. So I understand that sentiment. And I understand that Jimmy Butler simply was fed up and he hit a wall. And speaking of that, not too long ago, I can understand how Jimmy felt because I also hit a wall. I hit a point where I just couldn't keep up personally. My to-do list felt endless. I was going to school, looking for jobs, making content, obviously, on the podcast, being a dad. My brain was super foggy, and no matter how much coffee I drank, I couldn't get into the zone. And worst of all, my sleep was a mess, and I stayed up at night just worrying about things that I didn't finish. And I realized that something had to give. I couldn't keep running on empty. And I feel like Jimmy Butler has been running on empty a lot. And so I understand and empathize for him. But I started focusing on what I like to call mental wealth. So building habits today that give me the energy and the resilience for tomorrow. So for me, mental wealth is about taking care of the basics. So one, getting good sleep, eating better, moving my body, exercising, managing stress, and finding tools that support me along the way to bring me joy again, right? Jimmy Butler said, I lost my joy in playing basketball. I don't want to play for this Miami Heat. So you need to find out how to regain that joy and be a better version of yourself. So Magic Mind, they sent me a package and it's become one of the go-to tools for me staying on track personally, which I love. So I start my mornings with their focus shots, and they've been a game changer so far. I feel sharper, have more energy, more productive, and I don't get that afternoon crash like you do with coffee. At nighttime, I don't really have trouble sleeping, but their sleep shots have been amazing so far. And I've only been taking them for a few nights, but I'm waking up feeling rested and ready for the day. What I love the most about Magic Mind is that it isn't trying to be a quick fix. It's part of a bigger strategy to help you become more healthy and have that clarity and mental wealth, like I mentioned earlier. So now, for the first time, they've bundled their focus and sleep shots into a 24-hour pack so you can have clarity during the day and restful nights. And you can get 45% off using my code for this exclusive deal, which is available through my link, which I'll put in the description. So don't miss out, and don't forget to use my code, which I will include there as well. So going back to Jimmy Butler. So again, he has complained about us missing out on a ton of folks, but we also have to look at what the Miami Heat have done to appease Jimmy Butler, because he's contradicting himself as well. He was saying that he was upset that we didn't have other stars around him, but he was also upset that we got rid of Max, Gabe, and Caleb, guys who were on friendly deals or two-way deals that we converted to like very friendly standard contracts, and they all wanted to make 30, 40, 50 million and above, which we couldn't obviously pay all of them, so we had to let them walk away. And Jimmy's all hurt that we didn't keep his friends like Max Struess, who wanted $60 million, who's a role player, but yet he wants Damian Lillard. Yet we fumbled that, obviously, but yet he wants Donovan Mitchell and other pieces. So I get where he's complaining at, but we also did provide him with certain pieces. So Victor Oladipo, for one, in 2020, the 2021 season, after we beat them in the bubble, then or after that, he went to the Houston Rockets. Actually, we beat them in the bubble. Then the season after, he went to the Houston Rockets. We traded for Oladipo, and we traded Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley. So Kelly O, obviously, I missed. Bradley Avery did not play at all. Did not play well at all for this Miami Heat team. So that wasn't a big loss. But getting Victor Oladipo in could have been great. He was only 28 years old, but of course we knew about his significant injury history. And of course he got hurt twice with the Miami Heat, which is super unfortunate. And he only played 4 games with the Miami Heat his first season, but he did average 12 points, 1.8 steals, 3.5 assists, and 3 rebounds. He was obviously assimilating with the new team. He was a little rusty trying to find his role, but he was someone that was going to help us defensively and someone off the bench as a 6th man or a 7th man. And could have helped contribute if he stayed healthy, but he didn't. His next season, he was even better. He only played 8 games, which is so sad, but 12.4 points. He averaged 3.5 assists, 2.5 rebounds, shot 41% from 3, which was huge. And he was playing great, but then he got hurt again. But the year that it paid off was in the playoffs against the Hawks when Jimmy Butler was hurt in Game 5 when the Miami Heat beat the Atlanta Hawks. They had a game that I will not ever forget. Victor Oladipo had 23 points on 8 for 16 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3, 3 assists, 1 rebound, couple steals, locked up Trae Young. He looked amazing. And so we did get Jimmy some help, the best of our ability. We also added PJ Tucker, who just won a championship with the Bucks the year prior, who Jimmy also liked. He was upset that we couldn't restructure his contract. But still, we gave him Victor Oladipo, and if he wasn't hurt, he would have been great. He was solid when he did play on this court, which was minimal. And Kyle Lowry, obviously his friend, we gave him a 3-year deal. He was the best free agent. We did a sign and trade, traded Goran Dragic and Precious Achua for Kyle Lowry. Had a really good first year. He helped us get the first seed when Jimmy and Bam were hurt during the regular season. We were 1 shot away from going to the finals. So we have helped Jimmy Butler. So it's not like we haven't tried, but the front office did fail Jimmy Butler again when it came to the Damian Lillard situation. And again, it's a two-way street. There's 2 sides to the story. You never forget that it's 2 sides to a story. Joe Cronin was not talking to us. Pat Riley probably tried to fleece Joe Cronin, but Joe Cronin apparently didn't pick up the phone, and we did try to get Damian Lillard. It was on Dame for not trying hard enough. It was on his agent for saying Miami and telling other teams don't call. So there's a lot of issues. But either way, Jimmy Butler's upset. Jimmy Butler doesn't want to play for the Miami Heat. We just talked about that yesterday. He had a face-to-face with Pat Riley, and he reiterated that he does not want to stay on this Miami Heat roster. which again, I understand the reasons why, and it's very unfortunate. But before I do hop off, just want to quick shout out again to Magic Mind. So this is Magic Mind. Forgot to show you guys earlier. So this is the shot. It tastes really good. Make sure that if you guys do want to get 45% off of Magic Mind, you can use my code, and it's Amir94451. I will have the link in the description again. So again, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.